the unconscious bias. And the reason I mentioned O'Reilly, and then I went off on that tangent there, O'Reilly has been saying there's no such thing as white privilege. He doesn't have white privilege. He doesn't know what anybody's talking about when they talk about white privilege. And Ian Ayres is writing in today's New York Times about a study that was done at the University of Queensland by Redzo Muchkik and Paul Frichters. They trained and assigned 29 young adult testers, young people who were all ages, all races, both genders. Okay, and what they did was they got onto a bus in Brisbane, Australia, and they used fare cards there. And they got onto the bus, stick the fare card in, and the bus comes back and says, "Your fare card's out of money." Beep. Bad boy, no money. And at that point, the person would look at the driver and say, "I do not have any money, but I need to get to," and they would specify a place that was about a mile down the road. So you with me on this? They did this 1,500 times. Sometimes the young person who stuck the card in that was dead was black. Sometimes that person was white. Sometimes male. Sometimes female. But the black and white difference was quite interesting. Bus drivers were twice as willing to let male testers ride free as black testers, 72 versus 36%. Even black bus drivers still favored white testers over black testers. Black bus drivers gave free rides to white people 83% of the time versus 68% of the time for African Americans, or this would be African Australians, I guess, or whatever. The study also found that racial disparities persisted when the testers wore business attire or dressed in Army uniforms. So they put them in Army uniforms. They were allowed to ride free 97% of the time if they were white, but only 77% of the time if they were black. So, this kind of sets this stuff up. Nick Kristof has a piece from February 21st titled Straight Talk for White Men, in which he talks about a study that was done by North Carolina State to students who were going to an online course. They didn't see their professor in person. It was all like online, email kind of thing. And some of them thought their professor was male, and some of them thought their professor was female. And half the time they were right, and half the time they were wrong. It really didn't matter. What they found was that the female professors, if they had a female name, they were rated more poorly than if they had a male name. I mean, this is astonishing. Same thing with people who are trying to get callbacks when they send in a resume. The study found that a resume with a name like Emily or Greg received 50% more callbacks than the same resume with a name like Lakeisha or Jamal. Having a white-sounded name was as beneficial as 8 years' work experience. Then they asked about rating a supposed applicant for a post as a lab manager. What do you think? Is this person competent or not? On a scale of 0 to 7. Identical resume. When John was the name at the top, they got a 4.0 rating. When Jennifer was the name at the top, they got a 3.3 rating. And again, this is just, this is from college students, right? So, he's going through this thing saying, could we have a situation called racism without racists and misogyny without misogynists? I mean, obviously there are diehard racists out there. But until we start addressing and dealing with these more subtle biases, we've got a serious problem in this country.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
So in this last week of Black History Week, what do we do about this? How do we help clean this up in the